All right, notable preseason games. Bengals, Bears. I don't know who's playing quarterback for Cincinnati. Apparently it's not Burrow. It's not Jake Browning. Kenny Anderson. Boomer Esiason. Keely Smith. I don't know, you, somebody. Giants, Texans. Daniel Jones is going to play, which means the Giants are going to play their full offensive line because they're not putting him back there with second and third stringers, as a turnstile. Cardinals, Colts. You see that one? And Commanders taking on the Dolphins. And yeah, that's right. Yesterday I did lose my mind on the show talking about the Cardinals, and they did put that up on social media. I cannot believe that they are 7.5 on some boards for a win total. They are not winning 8 games this year. They're just not. Emory Hunt, Mackenzie Brooks coming in. Let's start talking about some of the rookies, because you're going to start to see these rookies now play. Caleb Williams, that kind of thing. The pass yards for him, 3,500.5. Interesting. Let me start with you, Emory. Get your feet wet. Over or under?
I'm going to go over. I feel like when you make these high-level selections with these quarterbacks in round one, everyone wants to seem like they're right. But when you have a great talent like Caleb Williams and you combine him with what looks to be 3 number 1 wide receivers and 2 excellent options at tight end in a 17-game season, I like him to go over this number. I think he'll be able to accomplish this easily. He'll approach 4,000, if not cross 4,000 this year, in my opinion.
I'm going to go the other way, and then I'm going to let Mackenzie break the tie. Look, you have to be in the top half to be over 3,500 yards, all right? There were only 16 guys, 32 teams, 16 guys did it last year. And if you look, every one of them played at least 15 full games. So if there's any injury at all, you go under this number, right? You miss a couple of games, you got no shot. And even if you play every game, you got to play really well to go over this number. And it's been a while since we've had a rookie go over this number. It's a big ask. And I wonder with the Bears, with that, are they going to run the ball and play defense sometimes? Bad weather towards the end of the year. I'll lean under because, yeah, Emery's right. If you tell me he's going to play 17 full games and that he's good, he's going over. But there's a lot of variables. And if one of those things breaks, the whole car is going to get pulled over and go under 3,500.5. So it's not necessarily him. I'm playing that one of the variables won't line up. Health, weather, stats, all that good stuff. What do you say, Mackenzie?
Yeah, I'm right in line with you, EK. We have him just going under that, and that's with 17 games, and I don't anticipate he will be playing 17. But you talked about the weather. I took a look at the schedule. When you get to week 10, you're dealing with either A, terrible weather, B, a really impressive defense, or C, someone in your division. You're getting a combination of at least 2 of those 3 when you go week 10 and on. That makes it really, really hard to have a great passing season. There's a reason that Chicago's never had a 4,000 passing yard season. It's because of this terrible weather, like you mentioned, on top of the fact that he will start slow, just being a rookie, and he can run. So we will see a little bit of that. I do like his passing touchdown prop for different reasons. As far as the yards, it just feels a little inflated given what we just talked about, the weather and all of the other factors.
All right, let's go to the second pick in the draft. Jaden Daniels, also quarterback. Interesting. 25.5. You know what? How much is he going to run? Right? I mean, this isn't a total yards prop. You know I love him. I'm betting him to be the offensive rookie of the year. I'm not sure how much he's going to be running, how much he's going to be throwing. He's a dual threat guy. It's a lot. And if you look at most total yards, you see there, a lot of that was rushing. Like, for example, his offensive coordinator is the same one that had Kyler Murray. And when he had Kyler Murray ran for a lot less yards in college than Jaden Daniels. So Jaden Daniels could be on the move a lot. This is only passing. Mackenzie Brooks, 25.5. Over or under?
I like the over. We have him projected for 3,417 games, so that's about 2 games of wiggle room here. But you were talking about Kingsbury. That is a big part of this for me. Again, you talked about the other guys in college. You look at the Cardinals with Kyler Murray. He had 3,700 I'm looking at right now. Even with Patrick Mahomes, his last season of college, 5,000 yards. So he will be passing the ball, especially in this offense, and he will be playing from behind. Their win total is 6.5. When you're favored to win less than half of your games, you're going to be playing from behind in the second half. So I think he he will run, but given his offensive coordinator situation, I think we will see a ton of passing from him as well.
We're starting to realize a lot of these coaches understand when you have a mobile quarterback, the best play call is to not call a design run play outside of maybe the 5-yard line going in. So you got to allow the threat of the run to take precedent, and that's where you get these open passing windows, i.e. a Jalen Hurts. And I feel like we'll see that with Jaden Daniels. As long as you don't call design run plays, he'll be fine. He can get 500 yards and still cross his number, this passing yardage total, which I believe he will, because you also look at the same reasons I laid out for Chicago. Weather be damned. They have great talent at receivers, and they practice in that weather more so than the incoming opponent. So I trust him to go over that number. I don't think the rushing will be as much as people expect it to be. The threat is what's most important, which also helps him cross his number.
I'm going over, but I'm holding my nose and doing it, and I wouldn't play this either way. Again, I got it. When I have a rookie guy who I know can run, and he's not, Anthony Richardson or Cam Newton, when they walk through the door, they sort of block out the sun. I mean, he's kind of a thinner guy. I got to see you stand up to the pounding. Because, there's no Vandy on the schedule, right? There's no. Everybody there is looking to put a helmet and shoulder pads on you. And I got to see you be able to stand upright for 17 when you're going to want to sort of make your bones and show everybody how tough you're. It's a delicate balance. I always worry about that. I got to see it. So I wouldn't play it, but I would go over because the total is reasonably low, and I think the kid's really good. I mean, I'm on record. Ready? I mean, I'm going to say it. I'm going to look at the camera and say it. And this may not age well. If I had the number 1 pick, I would have taken Jaden Daniels and not Caleb Williams. There you go. All right. Now, the Giants were picking number 6 overall, and Emory Hunt, you were at Giants camp. You got a chance to look at Malik Neighbors, and we're going to talk receivers in a second. But I need a little first. They had the Hard Knocks off season. You got to see them sort of in preseason. Give me a little 30 seconds on what you saw with the Giants and Malik Neighbors.
He's as good as advertised. Explosive. He's built like a running back. He is someone they're going to find ways to get him the football. I would also keep an eye on Wan'Dale Robinson. He was used a ton throughout those days I was there at training camp.
All right. We're going to go any rookie receiving prop. And I'll tell you, I was down to 2. One was Malik Neighbors to lead in receiving yards. Because I think it's Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is a tight end who's a volume guy in Trey McBride. And you can't have 2 volume guys in the lead. I don't know who else is catching passes for the Giants. I mean, you just gave me one guy, but that doesn't scare me if I'm a D coordinator. I think you're going to have to throw it to Neighbors. Ladd McConkey's interesting. Jalen Polk is interesting. But that's not what I ultimately landed on. I'll tell you where I landed last. But I looked Malik Neighbors, odds to lead in rookies receiving yards, and I would play that as well. But I'll give you my best in a second. But first, Mackenzie Brooks, you're up.
You talked about Jalen Polk here. I like him to lead rookies in receptions, not receiving yards, just receptions. I'm looking for my Puka Nacua moment. I'm looking for my Jacoby Myers on the Patriots with 80-plus receptions in that same type of situation. There is a very, very good shot he becomes wide receiver 1 on this team. If you look at the rest of the room, if they can get the same amount of receptions which they had last year, 351 to be exact, I see no reason why they can't do that. He gets around 30% of those. He's putting up around 105 receptions. I think his floor is 80. I think his ceiling is over 100. When you hit that 100, 105 mark, that's Puka Nacua.
Quay trở lại với kênh YouTube của mình. Video ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục tạo ra những sản phẩm, những tác phẩm thật là đẹp và tuyệt vời để gửi tặng đến các bạn. Mình mong rằng các bạn xem video của mình thì hãy cho mình xin những lượt like và lượt đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình, để mình tiếp tục lấy động lực ra video. Mình cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều. Mình không biết nói gì hơn. Mình cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều.